Could you introduce yourself and tell me where you're from?
Yes, I'm Calvin B. DeWitt. I'm from the University of Wisconsin in Madison, Wisconsin. I'm a professor of environmental studies there, and I am an environmental scientist.
Okay, and what is it specifically that you have been working on and the message that you bring here to Cancun?
I have been working on developing an understanding of the biospheric economy. That's a term I think is going to that's a term that's going to come into prevalence. The biosphere is the thin envelope of life that envelops our planet, and its operations really can be described as a kind of economy. The climate system is part of that. And what we're recognizing now in this climate conference, and also as we're dealing with climate change, is that our economy, every aspect of it, has to work as a subsidiary of the global biospheric economy. We're coming to realize that here at COP16. We'll increasingly do that in the coming years because we have found ourselves working sometimes at odds with the way the world works, and we're coming to understand that we have to live rightly on Earth.
Right.
And we have to spread right living.
And are enough people coming to that realization, or the right people coming to that realization?
I believe so. There has been a time when the science and the policy were too disjunct, but science and policy are coming together now. We are not only seeing a comprehensive worldview being developed amongst scientists, but also amongst policymakers, amongst business people, and I think we're at the verge of rediscovering what we all have admired, and that is the awe and wonder of the biosphere and the way it works, which is, of course, its economy.
You mentioned policymakers. Do you think policymakers are coming to realize the direction we need to be going in?
As I have attended sessions here at COP16 and have heard various speakers, I'm very impressed at the advances that are being made in all of our understanding, including the policymakers. Some of these issues are very complex and difficult. Some have great time lags, and time lags are difficult to comprehend, but this comprehension is really being embraced and understood. And so I'm quite hopeful. It is also apparent in all these exhibits here that people are developing a worldview which is not really narrow anymore, but it is more linked with various aspects. So hunger, food, poverty, climate, science, and soils, atmosphere, all of these are being considered increasingly more and more together rather than as separate disciplines.
Whereas in the past you think they weren't, perhaps people were plowing their own furrow, they were going in their own direction.
That is very true.
Right.
What we have done in our academic system to begin with was to increasingly fragment the disciplines, becoming more specialized in various aspects. This has given us a great deal of power, but it also has had an attendant weakness, and that is we begin to lose sight of the whole. And it's the sight of the whole that is necessary now for us to recapture. And scientists, ethicists, practitioners have to do that together as a partnership, as a joint exercise.
So fundamentally you're confident about the processes being talked about, being discussed here in Cancun and beyond?
Yes, I'm very comfortable with what's happening. I understand the interests that are at work here. Ultimately, however, we all come to the same interest, and that is the survival of a beautiful planet, the stewardship of its atmosphere and of its climate system, and of the need to really live rightly in accord with that grand economy.
Okay, that's a nice note on which to end. Thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.